Cob Lights, cheap as chips and a great load of fun. Come in loads of different colours, and you can even get flashing ones if you want with a little control unit. So what have I been doing? Well, as you can see, bad weather is continuing in the UK. Built a few little foamies that still need maidens, but in the meantime I've been giving some of my RC planes a bit of an extra flashy look with some Cob Lights. Cheap as chips, come in a couple of assorted voltages, 12 volts, 5 volts, so you could either power the 12 volt ones directly from your 3S LiPo, or they will actually work quite happily on 4.2 volts, so a 1S LiPo, or even one of these little lithium ion vape batteries. This is one that I found discarded in the street, a discarded vape. So quite convenient actually just to put a JST on and plug it directly into the Cob Light. Now I've come across three main types of Cob Lights, and incidentally, does anybody know what the Cob stands for with Cob Lights? It actually stands for chip on board. Not a lot of people know that, and I didn't until yesterday. Anyway, three main types I guess. There's this type here, which you can buy with a pigtail already soldered on, but also very conveniently they've got these little spaces here where you can cut and even use just one segment if you want, which is what I'm about to do, but I'll come on to that in a bit. So you can cut them to any length you want, and loads of colours, and as I say, these are actually 5 volt ones. It actually says they're 5 volt plus, and you've got a negative symbol there. Another type of Cob Light is this very thin profile one, which is great for putting on a leading edge, and as you can see it's on my twin EDF little cheap foamy conversion with a T-tail, my best ever. That was my number 13. But anyway, as you can see, very thin profile. As far as I know, these only come with pigtails attached, which is why you can see the end there tucks in here, and obviously goes to a Y lead, and in fact I've powered that with a little 1S vape battery. And the third type that I've come across, also with little cut slots on it, and also that does come with a pigtail. Some of these you can buy them at a length cut to whatever length you want, 1 metre, 20 centimetres, whatever. These have also got a little cut slot there and voltage marked, which again is 5 volts, and these are actually, they look like tiny LEDs, and you can actually see the chip on board there as well. So, and this particular one you saw flashing in my intro comes with a little controller where you can actually change the flash rate. And in fact I've put these on my Sky Surfer X8, which is in fact a Bixler clone, which I'm hoping to use for FPV. It's now got a flight controller in it, and as soon as I know that the flight controller is doing its job, I'm actually going to try my new digital FPV on it, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, as I say, three different types. The type I'm going to show you now is this one here, and the plan is to just use one section and put some navigation lights on my mini Sky Surfer that I only put together. Videos online now. Mini Sky Surfer, that's waiting for a maiden, but I'm going to put a couple of these on, red and green for port and starboard. I know they should be on the wingtips, but that means running a wire an awful long way. So let's get on with it, and I'll show you just how to solder these on and wire them up. Obviously the first thing you're going to need is some Cob Light. This, I think, that's good half a metre there, was something like a couple of pounds for half a metre or a metre or something. Ridiculous cheap. I've got some red and I've got some green, so that's what I'm going to use. Next thing you're going to need is some light gauge wire. That's the first thing. Other thing of course you need is soldering iron and some solder. Let's get started. First job, let me just show you here. That's the important bit. So what I'm going to do is cut it right on the mark, like that. That's my port hand light, and this here is going to be my starboard light. Let's make sure I get it on the middle of that. Yep. Right, so that's the first step. Next step is strip a little bit of very fine wire, or find some very fine wire. This is telephone extension wire, tiny little gauge wire, but that's all you need for 20 milliamps. Then we're going to tin the ends. I've given it a wipe, some nice clean solder on it, little touch like that, and it should go silver. apply solder to it and then apply solder to the wire. So that I can see is tinned nicely. Then I'm going to take my little Cob Light strip and I'm going to tin that. I'm going to drop a little tiny bit of solder there. Just touch that, yep. Only takes a second. Just a second. There it is. They're both a nice silver colour now. Hopefully you can see that. Then I'm going to take my wires here. I'm going to make the yellow one my ground. So green for positive. And if you can see on here, one side is marked positive. So I'm just going to hold that down. And again, tiny little bit of clean solder. There is some on there. Tiny little bit of clean solder on here. Keep that steady. Tiny little touch is all it takes, and that is on. Likewise, a bit of solder. Bit of solder there. You've got to keep it still while you're doing this. And a little touch. You know when it's gone. Yep. Beautiful. I'll just show you. Focus, come on now. Focus, and I think you can see the plus and minus there. So I could test that by plugging into my little X-Vape 4.2 volt battery. So this is the port ham one. I'm going to feed it across from about here. I just pull that piece of tape up and feed it into the same groove. Come across here, and then I can poke a hole here with my cocktail stick to come through. I'm not going to do it on camera. I can poke a hole there so that I can then tuck the wires through into the cockpit. I'm going to do that off camera because it's too tricky. Right, so it's partially fed through. Peel off the backing from the self-adhesive bit, and what I'm going to do is put it right on that edge so that it'll be seen from the front. Probably needs to go about there. So it'll be seen from the front, and it's going to be mostly underneath anyway, so right on that leading edge there. Right on the leading edge. And I say, unfortunately, that was one that I botched up to start with. So now I know where to make my groove. Make a groove across there with the blade to feed that one through. Go through about here. So you can make a slot like that. Run the end of a spoon or something down it. Push it into the slot. Might come back a little bit with it. Yeah, that's all right. And what I tend to do is put a bit of Scotch crystal over it, just to protect it. Right, so that's it. Self-adhesively stuck on the leading edge there, so that is going to be visible from the front as well and truly when it's flying, because it's, if you can see where they are. Well, you'll see it in a second when I turn them on in the dark. So fed it across there, made a groove, tape is back on. Just going to put some Scotch crystal on, which is like posh sellotape. I'll put it along the leading edge, but I'll also put it over that and over that. Not that it's going to fall out. And as you can see, all four wires are now in the cockpit. The question is, what am I going to connect them to? I'm going to come back once I put my tape on, but that's the exciting bit. Don't go away. Okay, tape is on. Doesn't notice very much, does it really? And as I say, ready for the next step, which is going to be one of these little servo plugs or speed controller plugs. So I'll solder it on and I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. With this, you probably know, with this kind of connector, obviously that's the negative terminal, That's the positive 5 volts if it's a receiver or a servo or whatever, and that one is just signal wire, so that one I can chop off. But I'm going to solder those two onto each pair of positives and negatives, and then the exciting bit is I'm going to show you what happens. Tin that. Well, I got there in the end with that, but it was a bit of a pig of a job, and in fact I switched to a different plug because that one just wouldn't tin, the wires were just too fragile. So here we are, job done. Going to positive and negative on this, worst part of the job, but I still haven't told you where I'm going to connect it. Well, it just so happens my little tiny FS2A receiver is tucked in there. If you've seen the build blog for this, I'll just show you a snippet where it goes. It goes on a shelf in there. As I said, FS2A receiver in there, of which I'm using 3 channels. Channel 1, ailerons, channel 2, elevator, channel 3 obviously, speed controller. So channel 4 there, unused, which is usually rudder, is where this one's going to go. Well, I've already tested, you can't plug in a whole load of LEDs on a receiver because they won't handle the current. But 40 milliamps, and I have tested, not easy to actually get it on there because that was a tight install as well, but 40 milliamps there, that should be, I want to try and tuck those in as well. This is a tight engineering job. Oh, before I tuck them in, let's just make sure it works then, shall we? Let's plug in a LiPo, the exciting bit, because honestly, you're seeing this live, I haven't tested it. Where's a LiPo? 20 milliamps. 20 milliamps from this won't make a huge amount of difference. So let's plug the LiPo into the power supply, and I'm going to swear if it doesn't work. Oh, in fact, before I do that, I've got to turn the receiver on. Right, receiver is turned on. All switches are up, throttle is off. Let's just see. And wow, just look at that. Turn off the light for maximum effect. Let's turn off all the lights for maximum effect. Actually, I really am excited. How about that? And as you can see, in fact, before, of course, when I was using it with the 4.2 cell, it wasn't actually getting its 5 volts, but that is a pretty effective pair of navigation lights on this. And like I say, 40 milliamps isn't going to be a huge drain on that 800 milliamp battery. Okay, so it works fine with my 2 little nav lights, but word of warning here, I think I said 2 little strips is just 22 milliamps there, it said first off, 22 milliamps. But if you connect up the whole of this big strip, 420 milliamps, in other words 0.4 amps. And if you connected 0.4 amps to your receiver, it will probably go bang and destroy the receiver. So there you have it, easy navigation lights on your RC plane, and also an easy way to connect them. Let's just check and make sure everything else is working fine on this mini surfer with the lights plugged in, ailerons, elevator, and the motor. And incidentally, if you saw my build blog, I have actually very carefully balanced this 3-bladed prop that I cut down for this, and it's got loads of thrust. This is sub 200 grams. I'll link the build blog for this at the end. But anyway, well pleased with that. Quite a simple job. Test as you go along, and as you can see, they are visible from the front. In fact, they're pretty much visible almost from the top as well, because they're right on the edge of that, and obviously once it's in the air they're going to be very visible. So that's the story. Cheap and cheerful nav lights for your RC plane, and easy to connect. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and why not subscribe, because coming soon, when the weather improves, 4 or 5 maidens, including my Sky Surfer on flight controller, a Ranger 1600, the Waco biplane, the huge Waco biplane, and just loads of other stuff. So there'll probably be something there to keep you amused. But I'll stop waffling on, and I'll leave you with the build blog for that little mini surfer 20 quid kit that I just put together a couple of weeks ago, and the maiden of my lovely twin EDF little RC conversion. And hopefully catch you all again later with some more interesting stuff. So thanks for watching and bye for now.